So I think we all know that stable coins are going to be extremely important in the future, not only for people who are interested in cryptocurrency, but just individuals who are interested in having some form of stability in the digital space. And I found an article that I think is going to be very interesting in the coming years, coming weeks, coming years, and coming months. And it says breaking stablecoin firm Circle to go public in $4.5 billion blank check deal. So what is Circle? Circle is the group that actually owns USDC, which is pretty much the most popular stable coin. It's backed 1-to-1. You've heard a lot of FUD or fear around Tether, and so USDC is kind of like the gold standard, if you will, of the stable coins right now, at least in the United States. So what's the issue right now? Well, let's read a little bit. Circle, a Goldman Sachs-backed fintech company focused on stablecoin development, has officially announced Thursday its plans to go public. Under the terms and agreements, the new Irish holding company will acquire both Concord and Circle and become a publicly traded company that is expected to be listed on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker Circle. Upon completion of this transaction, existing Circle shareholders will hold around 86% of the ownership of the public entity. So I think that this is where my kind of concern is, and I'm not an expert in this space in cryptocurrency. I'm learning just like everyone else. But one of the things with me that I find so intriguing, that I like so much, is the idea of it being a decentralized space, a space where no one actually owns anything, I shouldn't say no one actually owns anything, but where the ownership is decentralized and it can't be held, it's not held by one major custodian who can kind of dictate how things are going to be operating in the future. So one of the things that you've seen in the past is that a lot of different cryptocurrencies or a lot of different projects have what they call governance tokens or some type of governance system, which relies on consensus or the group body kind of making these decisions. So in a sense, you could say a corporation is somewhat like that. But the problem is that I believe that there's going to be less of an end result to try to get towards what's the best product for the end user, and more about how do we make as much money as possible. So why do I think that? Well, in the United States, one of the things that we learned growing up is that with corporations, they actually have a fiduciary responsibility to make as much money as possible for their shareholders. So sometimes this type of philosophy, it goes against a lot of humanitarian and just kind of humanistic kind of ideology. So you'll see all the time, and I shouldn't say all the time, you'll see sometimes where some corporations or some large entities in the United States may do things that seem like they're not focused on the human side or the employee side, but they're actually geared towards making as much money as possible for the shareholders in order to increase that shareholder price. One of those most recent things in the news that you might have seen is Amazon, and a lot of the workers tried to unionize. They talk about their working conditions. There's a lot of information out there on the working conditions. I won't go into it, but it seemed really bad. But at the same time, the share price is continually going up because Amazon provides a service that to the end user is extremely high quality, and people love the fact that it gets there so quickly. So even though they might not be doing the best for their employees, the market is rewarding them with higher share prices and a higher volume of customers, which we can go into a whole another reason of why that is and how that's even possible. But more or less, that's where my concern is that what's going to happen to the Circle stablecoin or the Circle USDC stablecoin now that they are going to go public in this way? Does that mean that when there are changes to how it works, are there going to be changes to the way that you have custodial risks? Are there going to be certain different types of ways that they can track the information? These are all questions that I kind of want to know. And this is why I'm so excited for other stable coins that are out there that aren't necessarily pegged to the US dollar, such as DAI, or even like some of the algorithmic stable coins that are out there. which are not pegged to necessarily the US dollar, but they're these newer ways of kind of keeping a more or less consistent peg. So that's really what I wanted to talk to you guys about, but I want to hear what you guys have to say, because you guys probably know a lot more about this than I do. In regards to the stable coins, what is going to happen now that they are publicly traded? Does that mean that that any of our funds may be at risk? Does that mean that it is any way going to be less decentralized than something else? Like, how is this going to negatively affect our space? How is this going to negatively affect anything that we're trying to do? For me personally, I think that it's becoming more and more centralized, and the fact that it is going the route of being in a shareholder's hands, it's kind of scary to me. So I'm not sure exactly what's going to happen, but to me, anytime that things go corporate and go like publicly shared, it tends to go the direction of how do we make as much money as possible, versus what I feel like cryptocurrency was about is bringing the power back to the people versus the institutions. So leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts, and I look forward to reading it, and I'll see you guys again here real soon.